Hi everyone, my name is Shelley. This is my first video, blog, whatever it's called. I've only just recently signed up to YouTube as well, so I'm kind of learning as I go with everything. Basically, I'm 31 years old. I've been married for 10 years. We've been trying to conceive consistently for the last 6 months. We have tried in the past, but I've only ever really sort of tried for a month or two and then given up and stopped trying and then gone back to it again. I think it was just not wanting to have to go through the constant, negatives, and I've heard of other people that have struggled as well for quite some time to have children. So I think the whole process kind of just turned me off. But being that I am 31, almost 32, I kind of figured that, I don't want to leave it too much longer. So so this is where we're at the moment. I've got polycystic ovarian syndrome as well, which makes it a little bit harder for myself. But I do think I know that I ovulate regularly, so I just have been trying to I've been taking some Vitex, and I'm also on metformin now as well, just because my progesterone wasn't that high on the day 21 test. But we also have male factor infertility as well, which is something that's against us. Last semen analysis that was done a few years back. And motility and morphology was actually really good. But the sperm count was pretty low. It was 7 million per mil. Um, so yeah, we haven't had it retested since, mainly because I don't want to know. I know that sounds really silly, and I've got family that have told me that I should get it tested to know where we stand, and I do agree with that. But I figure I've heard so many stories of people that have successfully fallen pregnant even with low sperm counts, and they've fallen pregnant naturally. I guess my fear is if we go back there and it is low or lower, that I'll be then thinking that and put it in my head that it's just not going to happen. So this way, I think if we just continue to try naturally, then there's always a chance, and I'll be more positive about it. But anyway, hubby does want to go get tested again. It's not something that he likes to talk about, or even when we talk about it, if people ask us, we always blame my polycystic ovaries as being the reason. I never really mention anything about hubby because it's obviously a sensitive point with him being male. Today, after watching a few YouTubers and sort of some of the things, I've been charting for the last couple of months, so I can see clearly that I am actually ovulating, so I think I'm okay there. I've also just ordered in, which I should go pick up shortly, just some OPKs just off the internet, and also just some pregnancy tests, just the cheap stick ones, because I'm sick of spending money on all the first response and the clear blue. So I've ordered those in, and I've also ordered in Conceive Plus, which I happened to just find on this website that I bought the other stuff from and hadn't even heard of it. But then I did just a Google on it and found that there are actually some studies that are saying that it's better than Conceive, which is something I couldn't find here online either. So I'll be picking those up today, and hopefully we'll get to give all those a go this week. At least with the OPKs, I'll be able to pinpoint exactly when I am ovulating. And this Conceive Plus apparently is meant to mimic cervical mucus, but it's also got stuff in there that's supposed to be really good to nourish the sperm, so help them swim up there. So hopefully that'll work. What else? Health-wise, I've, thanks to the polycystic ovaries, had an issue with my weight for quite some time. I did a few years back actually lose quite a lot of weight. I'd been put on the metformin, and not because of being on the metformin, that just helped to control the cravings, I believe, but through lots of exercise and eating really well, I went obsessive, but in a good way, like eating organic and eliminating all the bad carbs really, and just having a lot of fruits and veggies and meats and chicken, fish, nuts, just all the healthy stuff. And I ended up losing 25 kilos just over time. When I got to sort of that 25 kilo loss, I could have still stood to lose another 10 or 15, but I decided to take myself off the metformin, thinking that I'm fine now, I've beaten this, I can do this naturally. And obviously that didn't work. So over a couple of years, I've put all that weight back on again. So at that time that I'd lost all the weight, though, we didn't actually try, which I do regret now, because I think if the male factor infertility issue isn't as bad as what it was back then, and if it is from my end that the conception's not happening, then at 79 kilos and at that stage for me was very healthy and exercising daily and eating really well, I think I probably would have had a really good chance of falling pregnant. But at that time, we were looking to build our home, and just financially, I guess even hubby didn't feel ready. So we're in our beautiful house now. So I'm glad it hasn't happened till now. But we're definitely both ready now to start our family. We've sort of done what we needed to do financially and everything. So we really just want a family now. And the hardest thing is everyone around me is either pregnant or just had their newborns. So I'm just surrounded by babies and pregnant women. And it makes it even harder. And the other hard thing is when people are constantly asking you, so what are you guys doing? You know, when are you going to have kids? So I'm just so sick of going into it that I'm just starting to now just say, oh no, we're not ready yet. We've just built the house and this and that. So, but truth be told, obviously we do really want them, but some things are just out of our control. We're doing the best that we can. One thing that I've noticed here on YouTube though is that there are some people that do talk about male factor. I've yet to come across though someone that actually has discussed sperm counts, and I know that this probably could be a difficult issue for some, mainly for the men. So I don't know if women are just maybe not mentioning anything because it's an issue for the guys. But there are some people on here that have successfully become pregnant naturally, even with male factor infertility, whether that was because they just had low morphology or motility, or whether it was because of a low sperm count. I'd really love to know, and I'm sure that there are others out there that are going through the same thing that would just, love to know what the sperm counts were, how low they were for them to still be able to conceive naturally. Because I think even with 7 million per mil, even if it hasn't improved since then, which I'm hoping it has, because, hubby's really into exercise and health and fitness now. He's also been on a concoction of vitamins with all the research that I've done. I've got him on zinc, vitamin C, men's multi. We did look at some of the men's fertility vitamins, but when I looked at their ingredients, there was nothing special about them. I just bought a men's multi and then just supplemented with the additional things that he needed, like the coenzyme Q10, vitamin C, and the zinc and all that I mentioned, fish oil as well. So he's been on those now consistently for about 3 or 4 months. So I'm hoping that they've actually benefited. But yeah, look, it'd just be, I'd love to know. I think it'd just give me a lot of hope to be able to find out if there are others out there that have successfully fallen pregnant naturally, not using IUIs or IVF, just naturally fallen pregnant with a low sperm count, and how low that count was. Just, I guess, to put my mind at ease that it can happen naturally, because I'd hate to have to go through all the, I've watched some of you YouTubers that have gone through the IUIs and IVF, and it's just heartbreaking. And, I can't sort of, I guess, compare. We've only been trying consistently, solidly for 6 months. But I can see that it's probably going to be a bit of a hard road ahead of us. So, yeah, look, any positiveness that can sort of, give me some hope, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, I think that's about it for my first video vlog. If you've got any questions, and I'm happy to answer them. If you've got any suggestions or any advice, that'd be great as well. Yeah, so till next time. Okay.